wanted to give you guys some inspiration for your Valentine's Day card. So I was at H&M recently and I saw a really cute idea. I'm gonna pop up a photo here to show you what I saw. So I saw this card that was just a simple heart and it had 2 lip balms on it. So I created one and I want to show you guys how I made it. Speaking of showing love, make sure you show me a little bit of love and click subscribe, and also click the little bell that's next to the subscribe button so that you get notified every time that I release a new video.
Okay guys, so first we're going to just set out all of our supplies. So the first thing we need is a paper cutout of a heart. I just printed this online and just printed it out on regular printer paper. We need some scissors. I got 2 lip balms. We're also going to need a piece of paper that we're going to use as cardstock with a nice pattern. We need a glue gun. This is a gift bag that I'm using as the background. It's quilted, nice and thick, so a nice thick piece of cardstock or a gift bag. And we also need a pencil for now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear off our space, and we're going to lay down our heart and the heart that we want to use for the inside heart. So basically we need to take the paper heart and we're going to put it on the back side of the paper, and then we're going to trace the heart shape out with a pencil. Make sure that you press down pretty hard so that you get a good imprint of the heart. Now that you've traced the heart onto the paper, you want to take your scissors and you want to carefully cut around the heart shape, making sure that you make the lines as clean as possible. One pro tip is to keep your scissors stationary and to actually take your left hand, or the hand that is holding the paper, and to move that instead of moving the blade of the knife or the hand with the knife in it, because that will help you to control the curves. Because one of the most difficult things of cutting out a heart is actually making sure that the curves are identical and that they don't have any sharp edges. So now that you have your heart shapes cut out, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create the zigzag sort of heartbreak line that's going to go down the center of the heart. If you remember from the card, it was a broken heart so that you can have 2 separate pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the scissors and we're just going to take and we're going to kind of do zigzag lines starting from the center of where the 2 curves of the heart meet at the top. We're just creating a very loose freehand zigzag that goes from the top of the heart down to the bottom. Now we're going to just take our scissors and we're going to cut along the zigzag line that we created through the center of the heart. This is going to separate the heart into 2 individual pieces, and these are the pieces that we're going to use to later on attach our lip balms to. So once we get those separated, we're going to just go in and clean up those lines. You know, I was really kind of just cutting off the pin mark, so I would suggest you maybe do the zigzag line on the back of the paper just so you don't have to worry about it, or use pencil and then you can just erase any lines. Okay, so now we have our 2 separate hearts. So once we have our 2 separate hearts, we're then going to make a background, which is basically going to be a larger pink heart. And you don't have to do this step, but I wanted to add some stability to the design of the card, and I also wanted it to have, you know, just a bit more color. So I just took my pen and I outlined about 1 square away from the paper heart, because I use quilted paper, which you don't have to, but it just kind of worked as a guide. So I'm basically just taking and making another heart that is just slightly bigger than the one that I just made. And if you want to make this more precise, you can also just go ahead and print out 2 heart shapes from the beginning. So those pieces of paper that I used to trace the heart in the first place, you can just already have those pre-done, but I just decided to freestyle it. Once you trace your second heart shape, you're just going to take your scissors and cut around. I'm just taking some time here to fix the curves and make sure that everything is all right. And now I'm just placing the 2 broken heart pieces on top of the larger heart just to kind of see what the placement is like. And now I am using some alcohol because I had some ink left over from when I traced with pen onto my heart that was left over, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I found out that alcohol was really helpful in wiping off and cleaning up the ink. All right, so now we're just about ready to start assembling our card. So I have my hot glue gun here, and I'm going to take my two pieces and make sure that my placement is right. So I'm just going to put some hot glue on the back. You don't need hot glue. You can use just regular school glue, or you can use a glue stick, but this is what I had at home. So I'm just going to take one side and place it there, and then I'm going to put some glue on the back, and then I'm going to add that section, leaving about a 1/2 inch separation in between, because that's where we're going to cut to make sure that the two pieces of paper come apart. Next up, we're going to add text to the card. So if you'll remember, the card from H&M had the letters "for you" and "me" written on the card. I've decided to just go really straightforward and just write the word love. So I'm going to put LO on one side and VE on the other side. I am just freehanding this with a pencil and some of the scrap paper that's white. I really think that it's important for you to consider what color the paper is. So you want to use something that's going to contrast with whatever you're putting it on top of. So I know that I'm putting it on something that's really bright and vibrant and busy, so I want the white to stand out, so I chose white. So I was able to freehand the letters, but of course you can print them out, you can copy them from a stencil or trace them on with a stencil rather. You can also just buy stickers. You can pretty much take this any direction that you want in terms of the typography. You can also just use paper that already has whatever you want printed on it and then just cut it, and then you don't have to add letters at all. You can do a more handmade version where you just take a marker and write the letters. The options are really endless. It's also okay if you just want to not use letters at all and you can just write on the back. The next thing that we want to do is we want to remove the labels from our lip balms. Removing the labels, especially on the kind of more traditional lip balm containers, I think just creates a more clean aesthetic for the card. So the labels come off pretty easily, and it also allows you to just reveal the color of the container as opposed to all the branding that is a part of the label. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to apply some hot glue to our lip balm containers. So just one little strip up the back, and then you just press that down on your card on either side. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere the lettering to the card by using our glue stick. The glue stick is a good method for this. Any type of like thick glue is going to make it bubble up, so the glue stick just gives a nice even coating of glue and helps our letters to stick on without looking too bulky and without bubbling up or being messy. So the card is really coming together. The next thing we have to do is we have to create a separation by cutting the card in half. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut up the middle of the card following the line of the zigzag. So that zigzag that creates like that broken heart effect, we're going to just take our blade of our knife, or we're going to take our scissors, and we're going to cut down through that zigzag line. After we have separated our two pieces, we're going to flip them over, and then we're just going to attach them with a small piece of Scotch tape on the top and the bottom on the back side, just to hold them together so that when you are ready to give it to the person, you just pick it up and then you pull one piece off and you give them one side and you take the other side. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make a DIY Valentine's Day card. Don't forget to sign the back, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. Be sure to subscribe and like this post, and happy Valentine's Day, and I leave you in love, peace, and style.